dark theory behind Bluey's family dynamics. Think you know everything about your favorite Blue Heeler family? Well, get ready because we're about to dig up some secrets that will make you see Bluey's world in a whole new light. From million-dollar properties to mysterious careers, something doesn't quite add up in the Heeler household. Today, we're going to explore a theory that is so shocking that it might change the way you watch this beloved show forever.
This way to the pool! Ah, walk straight! Ugh. It's so difficult when they just ignore me.
Let's start with something that's been hiding in plain sight, the Heeler family home. Any Aussie viewers will recognize that stunning view of the Brisbane skyline from their deck. Based on the show's details and locations, fans have pinpointed the Heelers' neighborhood as Paddington, one of Brisbane's most exclusive suburbs. And here's where things start getting interesting. Picture this, a gorgeous Queenslander house just 2 kilometers from Brisbane's central business district, with enough space for endless games of keepy-uppy and magic xylophone. Sounds perfect, right? Well, here's the catch. Properties in this area don't go for anything less than $1 million Australian dollars. Now, let's look at our favorite cartoon parents' careers. Bandit works as an archaeologist, spending his days studying ancient artifacts when he's not being used as a human jungle gym. Chili, on the other hand, works part-time in airport security, making sure Brisbane's terminals stay safe and sound. Both are respectable jobs, absolutely. But here's where the numbers don't add up. The average salary for an archaeologist in Australia? About $67,000 a year. And Chili's part-time airport security job? That comes in at around $22 per hour.
Behold, the only known fossil of the first dog to walk upright, the ancestor of us all.
Now, I'm no financial advisor, but anyone who's ever applied for a mortgage knows that these numbers don't exactly scream million-dollar home. Before we dive deeper into this mystery, make sure to hit that subscribe button, or Bandit might become your nightmare. Think about it. How many episodes have we seen where the Heelers casually solve their problems by throwing money at them? Remember when they renovated their kitchen in Hammer Barn? Or how about all those family vacations? The camping trips? The new toys? The endless supply of ice cream at the creek? A family living on moderate incomes sure seems to have a lot of disposable income. But wait, it gets even more interesting. Let's talk about Bandits Job for a moment. As an archaeologist, he has access to valuable historical artifacts and extensive knowledge about their worth. And Chili? Her position in airport security gives her intimate knowledge of security protocols and procedures. Now, I'm not suggesting anything, but isn't it interesting how these two careers could theoretically complement each other in ways that go beyond your typical family dynamic? Now let's look at some suspicious patterns that eagle-eyed fans have spotted throughout the series.
What happens when you pull it?
Remember that episode Stump Fest where Bandit was surprisingly protective of that old tree stump in their yard? What if it wasn't just about childhood memories? Could it have been hiding something more valuable? And how about all those mysterious phone calls Bandit gets during family time? Work stuff, he always says. But we never quite hear what these urgent archaeological matters are about, do we? And here's something that might blow your mind. Have you noticed how often Bandit travels for work conferences? In Daddy Drop-Off, he's rushing to catch a plane. In Fancy Restaurant, he's just returned from a trip. And in Airport, well, let's just say Chili seems pretty familiar with those security protocols. Could these frequent travels be more than just academic presentations? But the real kicker? Pay attention to Bandit's office in work. Notice anything strange? For an archaeologist's workspace, there's a suspicious lack of actual artifacts on display. Instead, we see lots of books, papers, and locked cabinets. Could this be because the really valuable finds are somewhere else? Here's where our theory gets really interesting. What if, and stay with me here, what if Bandit and Chili are actually part of an international archaeological smuggling operation? Think about it. Bandit has the expertise to identify valuable artifacts, the connections to acquire them, and the perfect cover story with his legitimate archaeology work.
I'm sorry, mate. I don't want to go away, but I have to.
But just when things seem the saddest.
Meanwhile, Chili's position in airport security could theoretically provide, let's call them, alternative transportation routes. Pause the video right here and drop a heart in the comments if you're starting to see the bigger picture. Now, I know what you're thinking, but they're such good parents. They spend so much time playing with their kids. And you're absolutely right. That's what makes this theory even more fascinating. Could all those imaginative games actually be serving a dual purpose? When Bandit plays Raiders with the girls, is he secretly teaching them the family business? Is Keepy Uppy really a lesson in handling delicate objects? Let's look at more subtle clues. Notice how often the family plays games involving secret passages, hidden treasures, and sneaking around? Secret agent, spy game, Raiders. These aren't just random choices. Could these playful moments actually be preparing Bluey and Bingo for a future in the family? Enterprise? And what about their neighbors? Have you noticed how Wendy next door always seems to be watching? Or how Pat, Lucky's dad, appear to pop up at the most convenient moments? Could they be more than just friendly neighbors? Maybe lookouts, partners, or even rival operators? But here's where things get even more fascinating. Remember Uncle Rad, the cool uncle who's always traveling for his oil rig job? Isn't it convenient that he has access to international shipping routes? And what about those mysterious packages he sometimes brings for Bandit that we never quite see opened on screen? In Double Babysitter, when Rad and Frisky are watching the girls, notice how naturally he plays museum with them. Pretty specific game choice for an oil rig worker, don't you think? Speaking of family connections, let's talk about the extended Healer clan.
Tell me why you're not keen on babysitter put-downs.
Well, I had one before, but I didn't like it.
Have you ever wondered why we rarely see Grandpa Bob? The show suggests he's traveling, but where exactly? And why does Nana Healer sometimes give knowing looks when Bandit mentions his research trips? The family connections might run deeper than we thought. And remember the episode Library where Bluey and Bingo play with ancient scrolls and artifacts? Notice how comfortable they are handling these items, almost as if they've had practice? And in archaeology, Bandit seems suspiciously good at creating elaborate treasure hunts. Maybe a little too good? Have you noticed it? Let us know in the comments section below. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the blue healer in the room. Could Bluey and Bingo be completely innocent in all this? Absolutely! In fact, that's what makes this theory even more brilliant. To them, it's all just fun and games with Mom and Dad. The midnight camping trips in the backyard, practice for stealth operations, dance mode, learning to move through security checkpoints without drawing attention. Even Keepy Uppy could be seen as training for handling priceless artifacts. But perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from the episode Duck Cake. Remember how stressed Bandit was about making that cake? Was it really about baking? Or was it about maintaining their carefully crafted image of a normal, middle-class family? After all, what better cover for an international smuggling operation than being known as the goofy dad who can't even bake a duck-shaped cake?
But why should I just should?
Because I'll let you lick the beater.
Have you noticed how many rooms we never really see? What's behind all those closed doors? Why does the basement never appear in episodes? For a show that takes place primarily in their home, there's a surprising amount of space that remains mysterious. Here's another mind-blowing detail. In The Creek, Bandit shows an almost encyclopedic knowledge of hidden paths and secret spots. Sure, he explains it away as childhood memories, but isn't it convenient how these hidden routes could be perfect for alternative transportation networks? And in markets, notice how comfortable Chili is with haggling and making quick deals. Maybe those skills come from experience in other types of transactions. But the most compelling evidence might be hiding in plain sight. Think about the episode Takeaway. When Bandit gets annoyed about waiting for their food, he mutters something like, "This is harder than the Cairo job." Cairo, as in Egypt? One of the world's most famous locations for archaeological treasures? The writers played it off as a joke, but maybe, just maybe, it was a subtle hint about the healer's true operations. Before we wrap up this theory, let's address what this could mean for our beloved show. Does this dark theory ruin Bluey's magic? Absolutely not. If anything, it adds layers of complexity to what we thought was just a simple family show. After all, what's more impressive? Parents who happen to afford a luxury lifestyle, or parents who've built an empire while still maintaining incredible relations with their kids? So, what do you think? Are Bandit and Chili really running an international artifact smuggling operation? Or is this just another wild fan theory? watch our video about Bluey's secret unborn brother.
Okay, penguins, giraffes, monkey house. I'll give you 1 gold sticker for each.